It's me, Gilly, and welcome to Camelot, the Kingdom of Darkness, my Minecraft survival let's play, and also the medieval build guide. So today we're going to be going to sleep actually because it's dark. It's getting dark out. I'm scared. So today we're going to be working on a barn because on the last episode we worked on a farm. So it's only fitting that now we work on a barn. Before we start on the barn building festivities though, I did some work off camera and we're just going to check it out in a quick time lapse. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you didn't already because why not? It helps and it's free 99. Yeah. Alright, so I looked up a bunch of references for this build, and I'll try to show them on the screen real quick. So, it seems like during medieval times, and it might still be a thing now, I'm not an expert farmer or anything, but it seems like during the medieval times, they would have what is called grazing pastures, and this would be where the cows could... well, the livestock could just graze and eat as they needed, and they were the true farm fresh organic animals. This is not much for a grazing pasture. I don't know. I mean, I did want the barn here, but it's kind of... Alright, so I'm up here, and I think this area is definitely way too small for a pasture. However... I think if I connect this over here, I could definitely do like a barn maybe somewhere right there and a grazing pasture. Because wherever I make this pasture and this barn, it has to be somewhat easily accessible to the kingdom because that's where it's going to be bringing in a lot of its milk and its food and its supply. You know what? I decided. That's it. I'm just going to tear the mountain down and call it a day. I'm just gonna tear the mountain down and call it a day. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. Just me, myself, and I tearing the mountain down again. Alright everyone, I'm stopping our regularly scheduled time-lapse to show that Ashley's here to join us and she's taking off her armor for some reason.
Because you have to see.
Anyways, let's get back to the time-lapse. You, stop it. Bad. Alright, so that took quite a bit of time, and it's still not completely done, but I think it's done enough to the point where we can start building. And I have no real game plan for this, however, I do like this area right here because you can see the city still and you can see the manor house. So I think I'm going to make the farm, the barn, right here. And I'm going to do the bottom floor like this. And let's see. Something like this. I think I might make it a little bit bigger, so. Alright, so the basic shape for the first floor is done. And from what I understand for medieval architecture is usually the first floor is used as either supporting structure for the top floor that's usually bigger, or they usually just make the top floor bigger to conserve space, because usually medieval towns are crowded and stuff like that, so they have to make more walking space on the street, thus for making the lower floor smaller. So if I'm going to make this smaller and have the second floor be bigger, I have to make this seem more, well, supported. I'm going to try something different here, and I don't know if it's going to work. Can I put these actually? Okay. I think that might work for some interesting medieval architecture. So I'm gonna get that set up all the way around and we'll come back. All right, that is done now. I think we can add some supporting structure to make it look like this bottom floor actually had some structure. So I think something like that would be good. I don't know, I kind of like the way it looks. It's not too bad. So from the research I was doing on medieval barns, it seems like they were massive. Like, unless you were just a poor small city, not like a giant, you know, a small like town or hamlet or a little something like that, you didn't usually have a really small barn like this. However, I already put kind of a lot of work into it, so I'll just make the top a little bit bigger, and I'll probably make a second barn at some point and make it a massive one, because looks like a lot of these barns were absolutely insanely huge. Either that, or I won't put a floor on the second floor and kind of have beams, because I'll show some concept art, but usually it was these massive wide open areas with beams stretching across. Also, let's see if I can craft up some trap doors really quick, because a lot of these, okay, that's not the crafting table. A lot of these medieval barns had huge like swinging doors. So how I like to make swinging doors, and I know a bunch of people do it, but is just with trap doors like this. I actually need a couple more, so hold on. Alright, so I pretty much got most of the first floor done. I made this door, you know, one like half block or whatever off, so to give it some dimension and look like it's really like an actual like wide door opening. I added a bunch of hay, coarse dirt, and path blocks to, you know, make the barn look very dirty and actually like it's being used. Which brings me to one big thing. So when you're making medieval style builds, what you want to do is make it look very beaten and broken. Like, I'll add a couple, you know, cobblestone slabs, maybe some stone slabs, and it just gives it that, you know, handmade look, because in medieval times they didn't have huge, you know, trucks and giant machinery to be able to build all their buildings. They built everything by hand. You know, they had very basic things that they could use, and just making it look roughed up a bit, it gives it that medieval feel. I might even take some of this wool and, let's say, replace some of the bone to make it, you know, kind of look like that part of the wall is being torn, you know, degraded over time. So we'll add some here and, you know, a couple pieces there, and it gives it that very medieval feel. Like, this already is just starting to look 10 times better just by adding a little bit of variation and a little bit of, you know, a broken feel. You know, maybe we could even add some fence here and there to look like areas were being even more reinforced because they were breaking down more, something like that. So that's something that you can do to your medieval builds that will definitely give it a lot more character. Okay, so I set up the second floor pretty much the same as the first. However, I just left some areas for more windows. The problem is that these campfires kind of leave a weird little area down here, and I think how I'm going to fix that is I'm probably just going to do I don't know if to do spruce or oak. I think I'll probably just do oak. So I think I'll just do something like this, and then a sideways one, and then this, and just strip them. And I'll probably just do that all the way down, and I think that should give a pretty decent look to that from the bottom. So let's see. I mean, can't really see it that much. Hold on. Let me try something a little bit different. I can do something like this because I don't want to get rid of these. I might just have to make the top part one more higher, but that's not that bad. So I think I can just do this and it should be pretty good. Okay, so now that we have this top floor done, I can just basically do the basic medieval windows. So okay, I'm stuck down here. So do something like this and then strip that, a fence, and another oak stripped log, because in medieval times obviously they did not have a lot of glass for windows. I'm sure they had some primitive form of glass, but just not to be using for every single building. So I don't know if I like this. So let's see if I can use something else, probably a stair. Okay, now that the basic structure for the first and second floor is done, I can kind of just start building the roof. However, I'm just going to do a simple roof like that one. However, it's just going to be made out of stone brick and cobblestone. I'm not really going to go into exact detail on how I build it because I kind of explained how I build the roofs when I did this one. And if you didn't watch that episode, bruh. Okay, I'll explain the roof for people who don't want to go back and watch that video. So basically I just go one out. It's always good to kind of go off of the building a little bit. It just gives it a little bit more depth. And then you just do a normal stair, an upside down stair, and then a normal stair again. However, I have to go to bed tonight. Seen that MLG jump in the bed play? However, I'm going to make this roof slightly more complex. Right before I get to the center point, which is that, I'm going to go one block up and then start the pattern again, and that will just give it a little tiny bit of a pitch and a bit of character. Then when you get to the end, you do an upside down stair, a normal stair, and then another upside down stair this way, and that oh god, my voice like cracked. I don't know what's happening. And then that, my friends, is a pretty simple way to get a roof. So it went straight up and then it just had a little pitch and then up this way. So when you make a more fantasy roof, like I know I've done some over here, I just can't see them from here, you would just do the same thing, upside down, regular, upside down, and then a block, regular, upside down, and then a block, and it would give it a much more sloped fantasy feel. Okay, so the farm is nowhere near finished. However, this barn is finally done, and this is actually a pretty good spot for a screenshot. Maybe something like this, so we can get more of the church in it. This barn is definitely pretty much for the most part finished. So let's take a look inside. So this is what I meant by having, you know, just the framework showing and it looked like a just massive building. We have pallets laying around, some barrels, you know, a bunch of wheat so they can go out and feed the animals. I actually really love this build. Actually, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm not gonna lie. So I even like the roof, and it's a more basic roof, and I still think it looks really good. So this is all I have time for. However, there's still going to be a lot done. Like, this whole area is going to be farmland. It's going to be completely like redone and terraformed. It's going to look pretty cool. But like I said, this is all I have time for today, and let me make some food. I don't have a chest on me, so I'll do that in a minute. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not already, because that helps the channel tremendously. And if you enjoyed this video, you can also go check out some of my older videos where I built that. And I'll see you probably on the next one.